right, people, what the hell is going on in the sound booth? There we go. I had to move the truck. It's gonna be time to cut the grass next week, so I might as well just move the truck out the lot and put it over here on the concrete out the way, so I don't have to move the truck for another week. Anyway, what am I gonna shoot a video on today? I hadn't talked about the Houston Texans in quite some time because it's fucking June. It's June and ain't really nothing for me to talk about, you know, other than if you follow the Texans, you know the Texans will blow your goddamn news feed up on Facebook. If you follow them, they little PR, social media coordinator, or whatever the hell you want to call it, they will blow your fucking shit up. This shit is crooked. Let me see. It's on the steering wheel, so I gotta. There we go. You know what? Fuck it. They will blow your shit up. They were like, I don't even know what stage of practice they in now. It's either the end of June or the early or the beginning of July. I don't even know what today's date is. It's either the last day of June or the first day of July. I have no idea. It's early in the morning. I just woke up. The fucking practices and shit. Ain't much I could talk about as far as the draft and all that other shit and blah, blah, blah. Because you know what? I don't know none of those people. I watch the Texans. That's it. Unless it's like some big name player, you know, somewhere else in the league, I won't know who the fuck it is. I don't watch college football at all. So all the hype and stuff that come along with getting these new players and all this that stuff goes right the fuck over my head. I have no fucking idea who none of these people are, whether they good or not. It don't really matter, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. You know, only thing I can do is take folks' word for it. Like, if you're supposed to be good, I guess if he's supposed to be good, then he's supposed to be good. You know, that's it. I can't even fake like I even know. But I'm sitting here mentally going over the roster because I don't be having a choice. I go on my Facebook and the Texans want to post motherfuckers running 2 yards in slow motion. We getting it going. Yeah, you know, it's like that. They'll show like a half a rep in practice. You know, some little video clip, and I'm just like, show a receiver running and catching about. We putting in work. Post that shit 10 fucking times a day. Stop. You know, we don't need to see that. It's not exciting for me. You watch a motherfucker in practice run and catch a route. What the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? I was just puzzled by that, like for real. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What are y'all doing? This stupid ass shit. Just, you know. I guess they try to keep some kind of buzz going with the team or some shit like that. I don't know, but that shit just, it irks me when I see. It's almost anything where it's too much of something on your news feed. You know, like following the Texans. I ain't never had the Texans blow up my news feed like the shit it does now. The shit, now as far as now the team itself, on paper, from what I can see, as far as the draft and they pickups and all this other shit, team should be okay. Is it gonna be good? I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching, I'm seeing all these headlines, these articles, these little video clips of the little radio shows and all this other shit, and everybody's all ranking teams and offenses and shit like that. We ain't in minicamp yet. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck are you ranking shit? You know, how the fuck are you ranking shit? And I'm like, ranking what? They had some things about, yeah, the Texans offensive line is gaining momentum. And how? How are they gaining momentum? You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the fuck they gonna do until fucking game day come around. And then okay, that's how they look. You know what I'm saying? Until then, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, the only thing I can judge is, you know what happened from last year and shit like that. You know, I can't tell how good our offensive line is just by them not playing. You know, it's just not. They got to talk about something though. You know what I'm saying? They got to talk about something. And I'm not even concerned with the players. I learned that shit from last year. My opinion. You could take the same team, the exact same team we had last year, and just put them with this coaching staff. You know what? Team will be okay. The same is what I think they are now. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna just go through they just not gonna go through and just win no 2 games. I can tell you that. But yeah, I'm still of the fact that the players from last year is not the problem. It was the coaching staff. And the big deal is, I'm just gonna jump in. It is the whole CJ Stroud, Davis Mills thing. And I'm just gonna say this. For all of y'all still saying that Davis Mills sucked, don't know football, and you didn't watch the Texans play. The game was just on while you was jerking off, looking at whatever the hell you was looking at. And that goes for the entire offense. With that fucking Pep Hamilton guy. Fuck him, dude. Get the fuck out of here. That was the best move. The firing Lovie Smith is whatever, but getting rid of Pep Hamilton was the best move that they could have made. I don't know what the hype was with him coming in. You see that Pep Hamilton, it sound like, you know what I'm saying? He sound like a motherfucker that would come in and have your offense jumping. The offense was jumping, all right, jumping off the fuck sides. Because he doing some stupid ass shit, like literally. And he came in here running some offense from whatever they say he was like with the Colts and some shit. I don't know, but I'm like, when the fuck is we in it? Because the Colts have been a decent ass team for as long as I can goddamn remember. Instead of in light of just recently. And I can't imagine him being in he must have been the offensive coordinator where the head coach took most of that duty. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the offensive coordinator by name, where he might help run this shit, but he wouldn't call it no goddamn plays. Or at least he wouldn't call him many of them. That dude was ass. And if you watch the Texans play last season and you blame anything on the players, you don't know what the fuck you shouldn't be criticizing football at all. You need to watch a whole lot harder. Just watch, with the play calling and shit like that. You can blame Davis Mills for whatever the fuck you think, whatever. If you stick a quarterback out there and I'm like, that song kind of popular. That's gonna definitely cause some problems. If you watch Davis Mills go out there and run that fucking high school offense in the NFL, what the fuck you think is gonna happen? You know, because I kind of did the same thing. I was like, man, our receiving core ain't about jack. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, why everybody else we play wide receivers be wide the fuck open? And we got a somewhat decent secondary. You know, why they always open? We got somewhat decent linebackers. You know, our fucking front seven was kind of poop. Linebackers wasn't trash, but the fucking defensive line was just, we had one good defensive lineman and then maybe one or two serviceable ones, and all the rest of them was like dudes that you just see for that week, and then you don't see them no more after that. Literally, that's how it was. But I'm watching, I don't know why the fuck can't we get open? Why is everything an out route out of bounds? You know, just why? It's just, you start looking at the offense, you like, the play calling sucks. The plays suck. The shit that they was doing early in the year with this fucking super spread ass offense, where you got the offensive lineman way out in the fucking slots and shit, then they come to fuck back. That shit that we was doing when I was in high school. I ain't never seen nobody else do that shit. I don't watch a whole lot of football. I hadn't seen that the spread offense like that. Where your offensive linemen are out in the fucking slots and shit. You trying to see what the fucking defense gonna, or whatever the fuck you gonna do. Yeah, that's some shit that we ran at our high school. I went to a high school that didn't win a game in fucking 10 years. At the longest losing streak in the goddamn country. So that's some shit that shouldn't fucking happen. In the NFL. It shouldn't fucking happen. And then the back door, that shit, once all that shit stopped, all that cute shit stopped, and then you start with the quarterback shuffle they did, well, okay, they offense is boo-boo. It's literally boo-boo, because there's no intricacy inside the offense. I watched all the Texans games, and the announcers even said this, that there's no intricacies where you got certain receivers that open up the way for other receivers and how they run the routes and all this other shit. It happens on the other teams. Didn't happen for the Texans. That's why they offense is so easily staggered. It's easy to read. That's why you have all them fucking pick sixes. It ain't fucking Davis Mills' fault. You stick him out there in that offense, he out there, he got to make a fucking decision and do something, or just take a fucking sack, or throw the ball out of fucking bounds. You know, and that's basically what it is. And if you realize, also on top of this, the Texans, that's why Brandon Cooks didn't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? That's why he wanted out. He's the best receiver we got, which I'm like, Brandon Cooks does not need to be your best receiver. You already, you know, you behind the 8 ball already if he your best receiver. No knock on Brandon, you know, fellow Beaver and all, but hey, that guy, he needs to be a complimentary receiver. He don't need to be your number one guy. Like he going to Dallas. He ain't for to be the number one guy. They got a number one guy, but you got him on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he get his numbers. I don't think he's been the number one receiver nowhere he's been, except for in Houston. You know, he's been part of a group. He ain't been the number one guy. He ain't no fucking Larry Fitzgerald or no Megatron and no shit like that. So, but him being your number one guy, and even then, every pass you see him catch, it's a fucking out route. And right out of bounds. You ain't never seen, he's supposed to be this fast burner kind of guy. You ain't never see him catch and run the goddamn ball here in Houston. Never. Know why? Because the offense don't put him in a situation to do that. Ain't no, you know, if he your fastest receiver and all this other shit, ain't no, why it ain't no quarterback screens, wide receiver screens and no shit like that. They did it with DeAndre. They did it with Andre. They didn't do it with him. And they did run the quarterbacks, goddamn it, wide receiver screens, but they weren't the branded. They were to the other little receivers that we had. That could do exactly what I can't even remember their goddamn names. I feel sorry for them because they not even on the team no more. They not even on the team. That was a little nah. Like Dorsett needed to go. And then the other one, Chris, is it Chris Moore? I think it was Chris Moore. I know somebody named Chris Moore, and it seems weird saying that name. He did a damn good job last season. You know what he did a good job at? He did a good job when the offense when somebody got hurt or some bullshit happened, and they had to throw the offense out the window and come up with some new shit. They had to do that 2, maybe 3 times last year, and those were their best games, where they had to say, fuck it, the shit we can't do the shit that we been doing because we missing Brandon, or we missing such and such. We got to put all new people in here, and we got to do some shit for them. And the offense was fine. Literally, the offense was fine. I'm spitting. The offense, like, literally was fine. I didn't let the truck run enough. The offense was fine. It was. And anybody that watch football anybody that actually pay attention and know football, that's watching football, would recognize this. Anytime the Texans last year, you take what's his name, Pep Hamilton out of that bullshit he was doing, and be like, okay, we can't do none of that shit. We need to come up with somebody. So whatever the random shit that he came up with was better than the shit that they went in planning. It wasn't the players' fault. The only thing that really worked for the most part was the run game. Well, you know what the run game is? The run game is man on man, baby. It's the offensive line versus defensive line. And that running back getting in there and doing whatever he can do. It's based on timing. It's based on the players on the field and a bit of timing, depending on when you call that run play and take advantage of, the defensive play call or whatever. But the overall thing is the motherfuckers on the field doing what they can, to get 3-4 yards or whatever the fuck. You take all the shit out, the passing game is like, okay, we gotta have our shit on point because there's more risk in the passing game. And they didn't have that aptitude, man. They just didn't. I was blaming it on the receivers for a while. Nope. You want to blame the quarterback because the quarterback always get the blame because he the motherfucker that get the ball. Okay, whatever. Some of it's fair, but as far as Davis Mills is concerned, nope. Davis Mills had to come in and perform 2 seasons in bullshit conditions. And you get to see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about now the one thing that you can blame Davis Mills for was fumbling. But look at Davis Mills. Fucking 6'5", 6'6", however fuck tall he is. He like a Brady type of quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He is. Like, Davis Mills would have been a whole lot better if he ended up like in Tampa Bay, and he was in Tampa Bay when fucking what's his face, Tom Brady decided to stop playing, and he was coming up after him, and he had been playing behind Brady or some shit like that. He would be awesome. He would be awesome. Davis Mills down here when the offense was clicking, in the passing game, was awesome. You know what I'm saying? Which wasn't often. It wasn't. You know, it just fucking wasn't. And it's gonna be one of them things where I'm thinking in training camp, you know what I'm saying, you got this whole new coaching staff coming in here with a decent offense. You done drafted a quarterback who might be good. I don't know nothing about CJ Stroud. I don't. None of that shit. All the shit that was going on, I didn't know nothing about none of them. CJ, Bryce, I was going to say Calvin Richardson. That is a totally different person. That Richardson dude that ended up in Indianapolis, all the motherfuckers, as a matter of fact, all the motherfuckers ended up in the South. I did realize that where I was like, oh man. I was like, ah. Even the outlier dude, the white guy from Kentucky, I don't know. He's supposed to be a pretty good goddamn. I see some highlights of him. I was like, shit. I wouldn't have minded got him. You know what I'm saying? It was like any of those dudes would have ended up in Houston. I wouldn't have really cared. I don't know any of them. They supposed to all be good. So, but the fuck doesn't matter. You know, the Texans are obviously, well, not even obviously, they gonna pick a quarterback. They didn't fucking have to. I was hoping that they would trade that pick back. And they could have traded that pick back and ended up getting another where they wouldn't have got Bryce, and they probably wouldn't have got Stroud if they would have got back. But they could have either got that Richardson or that other guy. And you know what? They would have been just as well off. You know what I'm saying? Really, they would have been just as well off. They probably would have picked the white guy, not because he's white. It's just that I can't think of his name right now. But I've seen his. I've seen some of his highlights looking at some shit, and I'm just like, he would be pretty good. But the thing is, like I said, with the quarterbacks you got now, I don't think it's gonna be as clear. Ain't nobody talking about Mills and Stroud now, and it's one of them things where I think Stroud is gonna have the upper hand because he the second fucking pick. Now in practice, now people say, he's throwing spirals in practice. He's showing this that it's fucking practice. You know what I'm saying? I like legit. It's practice. You know, it's the same thing he was practicing at fucking Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? I like he was practicing at Ohio State. So, you know, it ain't until we get into a game. It's not like I'm rooting for the dude to suck or no shit like that. But it's just that what I'm saying is, the coaching staff's gonna be looking at this shit and they gonna be like, They're gonna like, all right, we gotta pick one of these motherfuckers. We gonna have to make the popular pick. You know, at the end of the day, it's like they gonna have to make the popular pick. We gonna have to pick this guy, this rookie, you know, the big name that we just drafted, or the guy that been here for 2 seasons. He showed me that he could fucking play. You just look at how the season ended that everybody was pissed off about, but it's just like, that's what you wanted him to do. You know what I'm saying? People mad because they blew the #1 pick or whatever. No, you know, I'm one of those people like, fuck the #1 pick. You know what I'm saying? Players don't go out there for that. Players go out there to win games. And you know what happened? The players went out there, won a game. That dude showed up in the clutch and did what he has done a couple times. You know what I'm saying? He's done what he went out there and did what he's done a couple times, which is Davis Mills. And, you know, he came back and won the goddamn game. And everybody, they blew it. They shot themselves in the foot. They didn't shoot themselves in the goddamn foot. They was in a goddamn no-lose situation. It really was. You have the #1 pick or the #2 pick. Either way it go, you can do the same thing. You could trade away the first pick, like what happened. Somebody traded away the first goddamn pick, I think. I forgot who had it. But somebody, I don't think cared. Yeah, they traded away the first goddamn pick anyway. Which, you know, I'm like, the Texans probably said, yeah, you probably should, you know, you get a pick like that, you rebuilding a new goddamn team, you need some goddamn picks. But as far as the quarterback is concerned, I'm just like, it's a toss up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Davis Mills gonna be in there doing what he can because he want to fucking start. He ain't there trying to be no fucking backup. And he going against CJ Stroud. And I don't think that it's gonna be no avalanche in the CJ Stroud. I don't think it's gonna be no avalanche. They gonna go in there, they gonna look, and they gonna be like, this is what Davis Mills can do, and they gonna be like, shit, we got a decision to make because Davis don't suck. You know what I'm saying? And he don't. Davis does not suck. Not a bad quarterback. Like I said, the only thing that they got me was the fumbling. But that comes from him having to change his game. You know, change his game a little bit to where you're like, okay, we need to be more mobile. You know, I'm saying we as in Davis Mills and himself. You know, and noticing how, you know, the environment. He has to be more mobile. And he is mobile in a straight line. He is. I saw him scramble once and run up the field in a fucking straight line. He was moving quite fast. You don't want him doing that because it's your quarterback. He's not a runner. But he took off up the sideline for about 15 yards. And it wasn't like Brady or Manning running up the goddamn field. You know, them dudes run up the goddamn field. You be like, man, just fall fucking down. It don't matter if it's wide the fuck ass open, ain't nobody there. Just watching them run, you just like, dude, just fall down, please. You know what I'm saying? Just fall down, please. Watching you run. I'm like, how the fuck do you even make it through practice, dude, running like that? But he was like, he went up that sideline like quick. He was, you know, once he took off, he was gone. It's just like, okay, he like one of those people that, you know, a DB might run him down, but if he gets some space, you might not catch him. You know what I'm saying? One of them DBs, them motherfuckers is super goddamn fast. They catch anybody. They run down receivers and running backs and shit like that. But he like one of them, if he get enough goddamn space, you be surprised. You be like, yeah, you ain't for the, you might not catch him. If you do, you might have to be like, you might have to pull in the afterburners. Now, I ain't saying that he no super fast motherfucker, but it was surprisingly how fast he ran up that goddamn field. And he tried to do that a couple times and ended up fumbling the ball because that's not what he accustomed to doing. But that's what he had to do in this dookie ass offense. And as a quarterback in general, you have to be able to move at least a little bit. Fucking Rodgers can move at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When he need to. If Rodgers need to go blah, blah, blah and pick up fucking 10 yards along the sideline, you know what I'm saying? Then, okay. It is what it is, but he damn sure ain't no fucking, I can't even think of that little dude's name. Whatever that Baltimore quarterback is, can't think of his fucking name. You know, he ain't one of them motherfuckers you just go, you know, and just, but if he go, but that's something he got to practice. It's something that he can do, but it's just like, okay, apparently they didn't go over ball handling skills with running with him. And that's the only drawback. That's the only drawback. Everything else I see with Davis Mills has got to do with the offense that we had last year. You blame it on them. Because you know why? They benched him and stuck in another quarterback. And you know what happened? The same exact thing that happened with Davis Mills at quarterback happened when they stuck that other guy in there for a couple games. They got literally the same results. And he's more mobile than Mills. At least laterally and shit like that he was. And it was obvious when he was on the field. But you know what? Still, they got the same results. The same results. The same fucked up passes, the pick sixes, all that shit. When they stuck that other guy in there for like 2, maybe 3 games or however long it was, the same shit happened. You know why? Because they ran the same offense. You stuck another quarterback in there, you got the same exact results. What's the goddamn common piece in that? The offense, the play calling. That's what the fuck happened. And you end up sticking him back. You still end up sticking Davis Mills back in there. And then you run that stupid ass platoon shit between him and that Drexel guy, whatever his fucking name is. It's fucking dumb. Every time you put that dude in the game, they know you finna run the goddamn ball. And they got to the point to where he couldn't do shit. Every time you put him in the game, you knew some shit was finna happen. Or they'll run some stupid ass pass play that never fucking worked. Because I'm like, he a quarterback. Why you can't put him in the game and run a standard play? Throw their ass off. The offensive coordinator. He's a quarterback, just like the other quarterback. You put him in the game, you want to throw people off. Throw him in the game and run the standard offense for that series. You know, he could do it. He's a fucking quarterback. If not, why the fuck is he on the goddamn field? Put Jeff, goddamn it, put Jeff Driscoll in the goddamn game and run your standard offense. Instead of some stupid Wildcat shit where you get the ball and he gonna run off to the goddamn side and get 2 yards and come out the fucking game. You might as well just ran a running play with your running back. You're not tricking nobody because they already know you for to do that. It's my whole point with the coaching staff from last year. So goddamn predictable. You know what happens when you get predictable? You get tackles behind the line of scrimmage and you get pick sixes. It's exactly what the fuck happened. Exactly what the fuck happened. Like I say, I was blaming it on receivers for a while. Nope, it's not the receiver's fault. It's not the receiver's fault. Because when players start going down and they had to change up the offense, those receivers that they had, except for what's his name? Nico Collins. Did they shit. Nico Collins he ended up missing a bunch of time. But that's my point. He missed a bunch of time. They had to stick another receiver in there. And offense was better off for it. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be your top receiver. You know what I'm saying? He go down, you have to stick in some bootleg motherfucker. Hey, the offense didn't change much. The offense didn't change much when Brandon Cooks was out. Nico Collins go out, you know. Offense didn't change much. You know. And if anything, when those guys went out, the offense was better because they changed the offense. They changed what they've been doing to accommodate for the other guys, Chris Moore, Dorsett, and whoever the fuck else they end up putting in there. And the offense was actually better for it. It was. It was better for it. But at that point in the season, which was late in the season, it was too late for them to do any goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you had already ruined the season. Then you got Davis Mills in there. He like, okay, well shit. I don't think he cared for that damn platoon shit. So he come in the game, some shit happen. He take off. You know what I'm saying? He take off the goddamn field. End up fumbling the goddamn ball after running up the field for 10 goddamn yards. I'm not even mad, dude. You know, I'm not even mad. You know, the running backs, they needed some more running backs because that African dude, I can't think of his goddamn name. He sucked. You know, I mean, you got Dameon Pierce. You know what you need when Dameon Pierce go down? Dameon fucking Pierce. You need another, Dameon Pierce go down. You need you can have 3 goddamn running backs. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know about that Singletary guy. He's supposed to be pretty good, but I know he a different type of running back. He ain't like, Dameon Pierce. He ain't finna be out there running motherfuckers over and whatnot. So, but when Dameon Pierce go down, you know what you need? Another goddamn Dameon Pierce. I don't know what happened. I don't know where that guy from what's his name ended up. The running back from Tampa Bay. I know they let him go. I don't know where he ended up. I would like to see him in Houston. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see you can have that 3-headed monster because when you got a running back like Dameon Pierce, you want to see him do what he do. But at the end of the day, it's like you don't want to kill that dude. You want that dude around for a while. You know what I'm saying? You don't want him to be one of them running backs that come in there and they good for like 3, 4, maybe 5 years. And then after that, you know, they got all kind of problems or whatever the fuck. And they can't do it no goddamn more. No, you want that motherfucker around for a good long ass while. So you need other people that can come in and do somewhat similar job. And he said that the guy, I can't think, Leonard Fournette. Get him. He probably gonna cost though, cause he a vet. But you know, somebody like that, a big running back that can come in there. He not necessarily a bruiser, but he a big running back. He can get in there. He can move, and it ain't that much of a game changer where he can come in there and do what he do, and not have to have 1,000 goddamn carries. You know what I'm saying? Pace that shit. You know, even the workload out. You know, even the workload out to where you got these running backs in the game, and you still can't really tell if they put a pound it down your throat or they gonna pass it to the running back or do whatever the hell else that they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But the capability is there. Like that one running back they had that the African dude, I can't stand him. I don't get it. I guess he one of those guys that look good in practice. You know what I'm saying? You know, them African guys, but they be all ripped and muscled up and all kind of, you know, you look at them, you're like, man, that's motherfucker that. Yeah. Ever since that motherfucker scored that touchdown against the Miami Dolphins, we was down 35-3 or some stupid shit like that. This motherfucker scored a touchdown. We down 30 points. He dancing and shit. Get your stupid ass on the fucking sideline with your 1 yard touchdown running ass. You know what I'm saying? You want to run 1 yard touchdown run and you dancing and shit in the goddamn end zone and your team down by 30 points in the first fucking half. Everybody on the team, you know how everybody on the team come by and pat you on your head when you get your little touchdown? Everybody should have came over there and be like, get your ass back on the goddamn sideline. Fuck you doing? We getting our ass raped out here. You out here dancing and shit. Like you ain't never scored a touchdown before. You realize where the fuck you at, what we doing right now? Ain't nobody need to score no touchdowns need to celebrate no touchdowns for the rest of the goddamn season, motherfucker. Shit. Yeah, so, but the offense look like it's gonna be all right. Like I say, quarterback, either way it could go. I'm just, I have no decision making skills, but it's just like I already know once minicamp comes and the competition starts, it ain't gonna be no easy goddamn decision. You know what I'm saying? Unless they done already made their decision that they going with Stroud. You know what I'm saying? But what's gonna happen is Mills probably gets some playing time, and he probably end up being a piece that can end up getting moved to another team or something. I'm telling you right now, if Davis Mills get sent to a decent team, he gonna run. Not literally just run, but it's gonna be over. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be like one of them things like who fuck ended up in Tampa Bay? Fucking Mayfield or something? I mean, that might be all right. I don't know a whole lot about whatever that dude name is. I can't think of his first name. You know, but you know, he end up somewhere like that, but even then, you know, it's depending on the play calling. That's what any goddamn player is. It depends on your coaching. Your coaching sucks. It ain't much you can do. Even like Deshaun Watson. When Deshaun Watson was here, at least when I saw, because I was working a lot of times when he was here, I only got to watch him for like that one season with that O'Brien guy. But even then, it's like it's the same thing. I'm watching these games and I'm like, okay, the big plays always happen when the called play breaks down. You know what I'm saying? And when the Texans do something on offense, it's always because the original play broke down and Deshaun Watson can run around and do some shit, and fuck around and either run up the field or hit one of his receivers. It was always some improvised ass shit. It was never the shit that the coach called. It was not hard to pick that out. It wasn't. Coach called a play, you run a play, this shit ain't gonna work. And you gotta run around and play fucking yard ball and, make some shit happen. That's totally on the quarterback there. You know what I'm saying? And the players on the field for making shit happen. Well, that would have been the case last year, except for you ain't have a player like that can pull shit out their ass like that. You just couldn't. We didn't have that. Davis Mills is a decent quarterback for me, but he ain't that type of quarterback. You need to call the right goddamn play, goddammit. Okay, that dude ain't gonna be scrambling around looking for shit to happen. But even then, if he could buy some goddamn time, which he probably can, but not a lot, because I've seen him, shake off some sacks and then look up the goddamn field. But like I said, out route, throw the ball out of goddamn bounds because there ain't nowhere else to throw the fucking ball. Because your offensive scheme sucks. You can't get your receivers open. So we got quarterback. It is what it is. They got a decision to make. Whichever one they go with is probably gonna be decent. They kind of in a no-lose situation when it comes to the quarterback. You already know if Davis Mills actually beats out Stroud, for the starting job, would they actually let that happen? That's the thing. Running back, you got the two. And then it's going to be other motherfuckers that come in and out throughout the season. That's just how it goes. Offensive line, the offensive line should be okay based on how they ended the year last year. They still got that Kenyon Green guy to worry about, but I think they got somebody in front of him. They still trying to figure out what's going to go on with him. So the Texans offensive line, based on what they picked up and how they going, it seems like they all right. You know what I'm saying? There's no big deficit there as far as I'm concerned. It ain't like the offensive line from Texas way in the past where the quarterback is just running for his goddamn life and shit. And then we got the wide receivers. It don't fucking matter. It really don't. They, the wide receivers that they have, that I think they have on the roster now, should be more than good enough. They've been talking about this shit about everybody steady trying to figure out where DeAndre Hopkins gonna land, whether he gonna end up back in Houston or fucking Tennessee or the Patriots or whatever the fuck, some shit like that. We don't need DeAndre Hopkins. We don't. We don't need. Now, if he come here, I mean, is it, how much is it gonna cost? Or is it gonna be worth it? You know what I'm saying? Because they got receivers. They do. At least they have receivers. Now, I know that Chris Moore guy is gone. I know Dorsett is gone. Those type of guys are not gonna be around. They just kind of get on where they can get on for a year, so, and then they move on to another goddamn team. They had a guy that they brought in from Green Bay last year. I can't think of his fucking name. Big receiver. Not tall receiver. He like a fucking running back. Big receiver. He got a couple of plays, but he came in later on in the season. He had a couple of catches or whatnot. But he in last year's offense, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to show shit. But from what I've seen, he's a decent receiver. And he one of those kind of receivers that you're not gonna see that often. You ain't gonna see no big ass receiver dude like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a Anquan Bolden or a fucking David Boston type of motherfucker out there. He kind of like that. You need one of those on your goddamn team. I think he's still on the team. I can't think his fucking name. Of course, you got Nico Collins, your big receiver. You got Robert Woods, your all-around veteran receiver. Then you got the Tank Dell guy that you brought in. How many is that? That's 4 right there. And that Hutchinson guy that they signed that was supposed to be good. You got 2 good guys that's supposed to be good. The Hutchinson, which is, I would say, will probably be another Robert Woods type of guy. And then you got Tank Dell, slot guy, or is that one of them little guys that you just gonna have as a return guy or some shit? I don't know. And then you got John Mechie, which he was a pretty decent draft pick as far as level is concerned last year, before the little leukemia or whatever he had come along and he couldn't do shit. So I don't even know what type of receiver he is. I don't remember none of his stats or nothing. But he was supposed to be, he out of fucking Alabama. So he was supposed to be, a prime guy coming out. So, and I don't even know, I don't know. I ain't never seen him on the field. I don't know what he was like in college. But that's a handful of motherfuckers right there. That's more than 5 I named, I think. I was doing this shit when I was counting, but I wasn't really counting. But I think that's more than 5 motherfuckers right there. We don't need DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? We don't. Now, if he come here, that's just well and good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't one of them motherfuckers. DeAndre Hopkins decided he wanted to come back here and they figure out whatever kind of deal he want or whatever. And I'm like, okay. But do we need him? Not really. We got a whole bunch of motherfuckers on the team right now. And I'm one of them people that's like, okay, you drafted these motherfuckers. And apparently, obviously the ones that you done drafted gonna be on the team as far as these receivers. If somebody not gonna be on the team, it's probably gonna be like the guy from Green Bay that I think he's still on the team. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that's, if somebody gonna be let loose, it probably will be somebody like him or something. But Nico not going nowhere. It's just, we got receivers. All those dudes can do what they do. Because you know why? Because I've seen the receivers that they let go from last year did a pretty good goddamn job under the circumstances. And they not even on the team no more. They gone. Dorsett didn't do much, but whatever. But that Chris Moore guy, he did a damn good job. I thought he was gonna at least get a shot. Apparently not, because he might. I haven't seen him. They can always re-sign motherfuckers, but I hadn't even heard his name mentioned at all. And as far as the tight ends, they got that that dude, I can't never think of motherfucker's name. The tight end they got from Dallas. He seemed like a decent ass tight end. But you know what? They had one. What happened to and why I can't remember the tight end from last year? Not the one that they cut and ended up with the Browns, the big guy. But is his name Jordan Akins? Whatever his goddamn name is. Akins, I think. What happened to him? He was like literally your best receiver last year. And he wasn't even with the team starting off. He was with them the year before. I don't know what happened. They ended up signing him back. And he was your best receiver. And you spend the whole goddamn season wondering why we can't get him the ball more often. You know what I'm saying? Why but I hadn't heard nothing about him. Like I say, they can always re-sign motherfuckers, but I'm like, but they kept that other big receiver, fellow Beaver and all, but I'm like, I guess he's a younger guy or whatever, but I'm like, that was your dude. You know what I'm saying? That was the motherfucker catching the passes and making the yards and scoring the touchdowns. Why the fuck ain't he even on the shit? He probably, it's one of them things where he probably didn't want to be here. It ain't always on the team. Sometimes it's the player. He came in and did what he do. He probably tried to shop around and see what he can get. It is what it is. But Dalton Schultz, that's their guy name. I done seen a couple of Dallas games. I'm like, okay, that's all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, you get one of those in there with that Quintiliano guy, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, he wasn't bad as far as what the fuck you expect, you know, from a tight end. You know, everybody ain't no fucking I can't remember. It's hot in this truck. I guess it's affecting my memory. Whatever that dude named Kansas City, everybody ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't like that. So, you get somebody that's decent, that, you know, whatever. And I'm thinking that the draft, you know, you got to take you kind of, you know, take the front office for being good at what they do, or at least somewhat adequate, and be like, okay, well, I'm going to take it as the defensive picks they made last year with fucking Stingley and Petrie. Both of those guys turned out. They started and played well. You know what I'm saying? They start as rookies. They started and played well. I'm going to assume that they picks from this year do the same. You know what I'm saying? Will Anderson. I don't know nothing about him, but I do know that they needed a pass rusher, somebody that can put shit on, you know, some pressure on it, because that's one thing they did not have last year. Unless they run like a safety blitz or some weird ass shit, they didn't have nobody that can just, you know, fuck up the passing game themselves like J.J. Watt or somebody. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't happen. It wasn't there. Every once in a while, somebody will get back there and make a play, but like on a regular basis, somebody you got to watch out for. Nah, they didn't have it. So I'm hoping that they, you know, then they got other players that they pick up along the way that might be all right. You know, they had the whole Jadeveon Clowney thing for a while, you know, whether they would be able to re-sign him or whatever. I'm like, yeah, they get Jadeveon Clowney back down here. I mean, that might be something. How much is that gonna cost you? You know what I'm saying? How much is it gonna cost you? You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have some players now. It's just like, you don't want to hamstring your fucking team and shit like that. You know, you want to have your players, and then you still want to have some goddamn money. You know what I'm saying? You just do. You don't want to be maxed out all the goddamn time. It just, I'm thinking they have one of them levels where they don't want to be just maxed out, you know, trying to cram all that they can get up in here. Because, I mean, at some point, your players are good enough. Just because you get a name in here don't mean that name is going to do something. You got somebody that can probably do just as well. You know what I'm saying? And let them build themselves up, you know. But the defense, they got, you're going to have to see what the linebackers look like. The linebackers look like they're going to be decent, you know. Defensive line look like it can be decent. You know, you got to wait till season get here, preseason and whatnot, see somebody playing. And then you got the fucking, what's that? The secondary. Did they draft? No, they did. They picked up Jimmy Ward. They did get some more. They did get they might have picked, they got Jimmy Ward and that Shaq Griffin guy, and they probably, so I mean, man, look, you had a safety in the corner. You know what I'm saying? You had a safety in the corner that's like notable. And the other corner you had wasn't bad. So you got more motherfuckers in there. You got another safety. And I guess Desmond King is still, the players that you have were decent. I'm watching these games and I'm like, on the defense end of it, at least, I mean, those guys were doing their goddamn thing. I had never really just looked at the defensive backfield and been like, oh my God, oh my goodness, oh what the fuck. It's always like, okay, well shit, there's only so much you can do when your fucking offense can't stay on the goddamn field. Your defense is gonna get ran through at some point. But those guys that was doing their thing all last year, and they just added to that with the same players still here. You know what I'm saying? With the same players still here. for the most part. So the defense got better on paper. You know what I'm saying? They got better without, you know, that fucking dude ain't Jonathan Owens. He ain't here no more. It's just like good. I didn't see the appeal with him, other than, you know, Simone. But I just, you know, you get sick of Simone Biles all on the Texans page. Every time you turn around, Simone Biles, Jonathan. You can't even hear Jonathan Owens' name without them mentioning Simone Biles. It's just, that ought to tell you right now. They'd be like, NFL star Jonathan Owens, and then they say something about Simone Biles. I'm like, first of all, he is not a star. He is an NFL player. NFL player, Jonathan Owens. You know, and then you can say whatever it is you're going to say about his fucking wife, because that's generally how that goes. He's up in Green Bay now, and it's the same thing up in Green Bay. First time I see that he was up in Green Bay had something to do with with Simone Biles. Like, bruh, who wearing the pants in that family? Shit, goddamn, son. You can't do shit on your. I mean, hey, strike while the iron is hot. If that's the publicity, if that's what's gonna help keeping the dollars in, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Keep it going. Let it keep rolling. It is what it is. You're doing a whole lot better than I am right now. Maybe he'll be a star up there, because he damn sure wasn't no star here. So the defenses look okay. At this point, as far as people on the field or whatnot, it just okay. Everything looked like it should be fine. You know what I'm saying? Everything looked like it should be fine if you're just looking at the Texans as a whole. Running back, receiver, offensive line, the tight end situation, quarterback, defensive line. I'm still, you know, I know they signed Malik Collins, but I mean, that's your best defensive lineman right there. I think that Lopez guy is still around. He was consistent last year. He was one of the motherfuckers that was there and did get shipped off somewhere every goddamn week. I can't think of his name. I just know it, Lopez. He might still be there. But you know, the offensive defensive linemen, they rotate out all the time. So you need several of them. And like I say, the linebackers look like they should be okay. And the defensive backs just look like they shouldn't have lost any ground at all. Now, as far as special teams and shit go, it is what it is. They still got the same kicker. I don't know about the punter, and everybody else up. Of course, they got the same fucking long snapper, because he fucking captain the goddamn team. He on all the guy. He on all the goddamn cover art. You know what I'm saying? When you go on the Texas page and they have they little players or wherever, John Weeks, whoever his name is always on there. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. That shows you the level of the team when your fucking long snapper is up there with the quarterback and receivers and shit on the goddamn shit. And it won't be like that no more. So he better enjoy what he get. But what else? I guess that's it as far as the Texans is concerned. Once the season starts, I'll be there watching. And hopefully everything turn out. But it's just like all the hype and shit now, I'm not really buying into it. I can't help but notice like some of the transactions and all this other stuff, you know, just from following the team. But don't none of that shit mean nothing until preseason start. Well, the public in general can get out and start seeing the product. Now, all these people that go watch practice and all this other shit, good for y'all. I wouldn't find that shit entertaining at all. I don't want to go watch motherfuckers practice. You know what I'm saying? You go to any goddamn NFL team or any team in general, they look good in practice. That's how shit works. It's when you put other motherfuckers in front of them. You know what I'm saying? And that comes other than maybe a scrimmage or shit where teams get together and scrimmage and have those inter-team practices and shit like that. Preseason is where it go, where you get to actually see how motherfuckers might be able to perform, if depending on who they have out there. But still, you get to see how people gonna perform against other teams and shit like that. Maybe not your high-end starters and no shit like that, but in general, you know who you gonna have on the fucking field. And then when the season starts, then that's when the shit start. That's when it's gonna start. You be like, okay, let's see what we doing here. And since we got the basically the offensive coaching staff from San Francisco last year, who had a pretty good goddamn offense for the most part, I think, maybe. Like I say, I don't know. Shit didn't really jump off until Garoppolo went down. You know what I'm saying? Shit didn't really jump off until Garoppolo went down, and then some weird shit started happening when Purdy got in there. Was that the quarterback or the offense? Now you know they got talent out there. You know what I'm saying? So you can't overlook that shit. You know, with the players that they had on offense, you can't overlook that. You know what I'm saying? But the shit just really jumped off when Brock Purdy got in there, and we shall see. Are they gonna be able to replicate that shit here with the players that we got? And there's no reason for them not to. You know what I'm saying? It really is. We got receivers. We got receivers, and we got all the tools. We got all the tools that we need. It's just a matter of how we had the tools last year. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't the fancy tools, but we had tools. That we had, you know, fancy tools and tools. They both do the same goddamn thing. You just, you know, it's a matter of who using those tools. And we're gonna see if they use those tools. If they use those tools well. That's basically what we looking at right now. And in this one, I'm looking forward to it. Compared to the last couple seasons I done watched, I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. You know, because, you know, hopefully my TV get over the air, because, you know, I haven't been able to get over the air TV, so I bought those antennas and shit. That shit don't work. It's not dependable at all. So I just had to just say fuck it and add, you know, pay for a service to watch the fucking games on Sunday. And I'll do that if it comes down to it. And, you know, watch the games on, and be able to watch my games on Sunday and shit like that when the Texans are playing, and watch some other teams too, because they don't, you know, when you got to pay an additional $50 a month, you know, for Hulu or some shit like that, just to watch football. Yeah, you start watching other goddamn games too. You be like, shit, I'm paying for this. I might as well watch, you know, I might as well watch the Sunday game. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't got shit else to do, I might as well watch whatever other part of what doubleheader is showing. I might as well watch the Sunday night shit. And if I can remember, goddammit, I will watch the Monday night shit, at least some of it. If you paying all they goddamn money, you might as well fucking watch it instead of just watching your hometown team. And you have to think about it like that, because I do. If it come down, got to change my Hulu to live TV, and then boom, they go to Texas. I can watch the Texans. And then another team, like, I watch more fucking Kansas City Chiefs than I would really care to watch. Kelsey, that's their Tyson. Their tight end name I couldn't think of. Is this Travis Kelsey or something Kelsey? I know his name is goddamn Kelsey. He got a brother that played for the fucking Eagles, but yeah. That. What else? I can't think of anything else. So that's it for the Texans. That's my Texans talk. It's a long video, but it won't be no other Texans talk coming until some major news pop up or whatever. I used to do these every couple of weeks, or when the Texans just really fuck up some shit and I gotta say something. But yeah, it probably won't be another Texans talk coming up for quite a while. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, hopefully this year's Texans talk will be actually some decent shit where I'm not just complaining about dumb shit the whole time. So that's it for now. It's hot as fucking in this truck. Y'all probably can see me sweating. So I'm finna get out of here. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Goddamn.